By 1996, 31-year-old Sandra Bullock was laying low and coping with her mother's cancer diagnosis.
I remember her being really sad, but really determined to try to fix it, to try to offer her mother every single opportunity to beat it.
But the chance to play a World War I nurse in the film In Love and War lured Sandra back in front of the camera.
So I hear George Clooney is somewhere in the operating room. I just don't know which one he is.
Action!
She said, I do not want to come on and do another Sandra Bullock movie. And I said, part of the reason I want you to do it is part of your personality. Not your techniques and tricks in playing comedy on the screen, but your personality. If you will agree to that, I promise you I will not allow you to do a single Bullock mannerism.
Bullock also decided to make work more of a family affair. She formed her own production company, Fortis Films, and staffed it with people she could really trust. Her dad and her sister, Gazina.
She's my right arm, my left arm, my soul, my feet. She's my life. She's the person who says, you know what, you're not going to be able to do this. Don't try it. We'll stick with this. And you know, I need a voice in my head that can say yes or no.
The reason why Sandy created her company is so that she can develop the kind of movies that she wants to make and the movies that she wants to be in.
But before Sandra could get her own projects rolling, she had a high-profile sequel to shoot. In October 1996, Bullock flew to the Bahamas to star opposite Jason Patric in Speed 2 Cruise Control. The action thriller featured a runaway ocean liner instead of a bus.
You didn't have a camera on like his whole body when I was...
No, we didn't. We never did the first part.
Sandra's paycheck for the sequel was $11 million.
I remember getting a letter from her, and she signed it from Melba on the high seas. She basically alluded to the fact that she thought it was kind of odd that, you know, they were on an ocean liner and it was supposed to be going fast or something.
Filming at sea turned out to be an ordeal for Sandra.
She had never told me that she was afraid of going underwater. And the water was pretty chilly. She was freaked out.
She was not comfortable with the water, and it's not like we were in a pool. They drop us in the middle of the ocean, you know, and pull away so they can get a shot.
We had to do it for real. And we had, of course, a lot of divers around her for safety, but even if you have 20 divers around you with tanks, when you have nothing, and they all have big tanks, and you have nothing there, and you have to keep your eyes open in salty water, try that. You know, it's really hard, it really hurts.
Back on dry land, Bullock recovered in the arms of her former co-star, Matthew McConaughey.
It sort of just kind of gradually happened, how those good relationships do. You start off as friends, and then you're hanging around each other, and you're hanging around each other, and you're hanging around each other, and then, you know, one night dancing, I don't know, all of a sudden both of you look at each other and go, whoa, did you just feel that?
The couple tried to keep their relationship under the radar.
There's so much of our lives, especially hers, is public business, and there's a few things you get to go on in our lifestyle and have be your own, which no one else's business. I mean, it was our little treasure and our little secret, and in a lot of other ways, it made things difficult.
Before the end of the year, the secret was out. The pair showed up at the premiere of In Love and War in January 1997, and the press went wild. The critics were less excited about the film. In Love and War bombed. Then, 5 months later, Speed 2 opened. Sandra wasn't surprised when the waterlogged flick ran aground at the box office.
It was the worst piece of crap ever made. I mean, it was one of those things where it should have worked. Why didn't it work? It was A, missing Keanu. B, it did have Jason in it, who's a great actor, but, you know, there's something to be said for sequels. People want to see the continuation of the original story, and I don't know what happened. The boat was just too darn slow, and it was called Speed. The boat was going at like 10 knots into this little city, and there's people on water skis going, what? So I don't know.
Things come up short, you know. She certainly knows at the end of the day she did the best job she could.
I went, aha. I kind of woke up and said, I see why it was important to other people for me to do this film. I got some nice cash out of it, but along with that came all the avalanche of criticism and comments.
Sandra decided to disappear for a while. She found refuge 1,000 miles away from Hollywood in Austin, Texas.
That time with Matthew, it was a crazy time, and I do feel that Austin offered a haven from that.
I really I just felt the itch to go stake my own claim on my own land. And I just happened upon Austin on a road trip. And I didn't mean to stop there. It was one of those stops you stay in a really cheesy, great motel, and I was there.
She totally fell in love with it. It's, you know, she's a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl, and that's a jeans and t-shirt kind of town. And, you know, I've heard her say she can hear herself think when she's in Austin. And it suits her very well.
So I keep losing co-stars, you notice that? I think it's after they work with me once they bail. Keanu bailed, Jason bailed. Oh, we got his Harry.
I'm a sucker.
After a short break, Bullock returned to work in Hope Floats, an offbeat love story shot in and around Austin. The movie marked Sandra's debut as a producer.
It was not the type of movie that she was being sought after to do because it was a more serious subject matter. Sandy was really excited about having someone like Forrest, who's such a prolific actor, to direct her in this dramatic piece, which really was a step for her at that point.
Can we go now? Just kidding. Nah. I like to throw them off every once in a while.
It was kind of exciting to get the chance to work with her on this movie because it complemented everything. It dealt with certain sides of her that we love, but it also went into a really deep, emotional side of her that I think she really showed inside the film.
She didn't just produce that in name only, like some people. Sandy was in on every aspect.
From the very beginning, starting with the material and every single level of the production, she has an opinion. They're smart opinions, and she wants to be involved in decisions that are made. And that's why she wants to control a universe, which is a sort of a perfect situation for an actor.
Is it playing?
No
picture at all.
It would be dark, Paul.
Is it on? This is the night scene, isn't it?
And she was playing a hard part. I don't know if people realize quite how hard that part was.
There was a couple of scenes that were tough. I felt like she gave herself completely to it, and she pulled it off.
Oops. I gotta stop drinking so much during the course.
You gotta lay off that hard stuff, Bert.
For the multitasking star, Hope Floats was a professional dream come true.
It's been the best thing that I've ever had, ever. I'll never have anything like this again. And that's why I'm taking a lot of time off. Just done too much with too little substance.
Coming up, heartbreak at home.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna have a meltdown and I'm gonna start crying.
And later,
Sandy waited a long time to get married and wasn't going to get married unless she was really, really in love.